So today we're going to be talking about my absolute favorite topic of all, and that is engagement. I'm going to give you some super simple action items, and this is the part of any marketing, especially Instagram marketing, that is most overlooked. So if you've not watched anything else, make sure you've at least watched this video because this is where you're really going to see some traction in your business. So let's dive in. If you've seen the movie The Field of Dreams, you know that they say if you build it, they will come, but that's not how Instagram works. If you build it, they won't always come. You have to actively be bringing people into your world. One quick thing you can do is to make sure that you post when you are actively going to be able to be online. So a lot of people look at their insights, or maybe if you use a scheduler like Planoly or Later, that it'll tell you your optimal posting times. Now, these posting times are great, but they're irrelevant if you're not actually going to be on the app during those posting times, and that's why I don't like auto posting. So here's why this matters. Let's pretend that you are Instagram. What is your main goal? Your main goal is to get people on your app and keep people on your app. So if you just go to a third-party app like Planoly, Later, Plan, whatever you like to use, or even if you just hop on the Instagram app itself to do your post, and then as soon as you post it, you log off, why would they have any incentive to show your post to more people? Because you're not on the platform anymore. Meaning, if somebody comments on your post, you're not there to respond, or you're not actually even interacting with their app at all if you're just doing like an auto post through Planoly or something like that. It'd be like if one of your friends invited you to a party and you sent a friend to the party in your place. So you have to think about them as a business and what their main goal is. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be on the app all day, every day, because you don't have time for that. So I'm going to give you a few tips for optimizing the time that you do have. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is people creating endless content and trying to keep up with posting every day. But here's the thing, I'd rather you post less frequently and actually be able to spend some time on the platform while you're posting than to just keep pushing out content more and more and more and more without actually interacting with your ideal client or patients. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing you can do, and this is a super easy step, is before you actually post, you want to open up the app and you want to be engaging and interacting on your home feed. And your home feed is just simply what shows when you open up the app when you're scrolling. The reason you want to do this is because, for one thing, these people are most likely the ones who are more likely to reciprocate with your content and to be shown your content. And for another thing, this tells the algorithm that you are actively online, which gives the app, more incentive to actually show your post to more people because it knows you're online. So this could just mean liking and commenting with genuine comments. Don't just leave a random heart emoji or something like that with people on your feed. And this scales. So if you only have 2 minutes, then do it for 2 minutes. That's better than 0. The next step is to respond or like any comments that you haven't yet responded to from a previous post. This is one of my favorite things to do. So if you have somebody who has commented on your previous post and you haven't yet replied, then go ahead and take that time to reply before you post your new content. Or if you have replied to the comment, then take this time to like that comment or anything that's going to give that person a notification, because then when they get that notification, they're going to see that you interacted with their comment on your stuff, and then when you post again, they're more likely to interact with you again. So for the sake of this presentation and just to keep it simple, I'm going to assume you're strapped for time, which aren't we all, and I want you to just pick a no-brainer hashtag like Raleigh Moms or PMDD or Meal Prep or Empty Nester or whatever makes sense for your business. If you are a brick and mortar business who only pulls from a local market, then I would go with some type of local hashtag, like this example of the Raleigh Moms. If you are a online functional medicine practitioner who works on balancing people's hormones, then maybe you can look for a hashtag that isn't just local to your area, like PMDD. Maybe if you are a blogger and you talk a lot about meal prep, then you can look at those type hashtags. Or if you're a health coach who works with older women, you can do it the empty nester hashtag. You're just going to have a couple of these hashtags in your back pocket. So what you're going to do is you're just going to go to one of these hashtags and you're going to comment on 10 people's posts and or respond to their stories. Again, the same rule applies that if you don't have time to do 10 people's, then do 2. 2 is better than 0. So whatever you have time for, then do that. A quick note before I show you how to do this, you don't want to pick a hashtag that's only interacting with your peers. So if you are a health coach, you don't want to be interacting with other health coaches. You want to be interacting with the people who hang out on hashtags that are your target market, not just your peers. So for this example here, this is a brick and mortar chiropractor in West Bend, Wisconsin. So for her, I would type in the hashtag West Bend, and then on your phone, you're going to see there's going to be a top and then a recent. You don't want to choose top, and the reason you don't want to choose top is because those are the all-time, like, most popular hashtags from that particular hashtag, not necessarily the most recent. So I toggle over to recent and then just kind of scroll through, find some posts that, jump out to you and click on them. So for this example, I toggled over to recent and then I saw this football photo, clicked on it, clicked on this photo, made a comment on here, and then I even took it a step further, clicked on this person's profile, and then commented on a few older photos from her profile. So obviously this person's perfect because she is a photographer, which means she's, still a business, but she's also a resident of West Bend, meaning that anybody who interacts with her page is likely also a resident of West Bend and can be a target patient for this clinic. Now, this is a super important note. I've had people say, I don't know what to say. If you find yourself grasping at straws, trying to figure out what to say, then move on. This is not something you need to spend a lot of time on. And think of this as just a normal conversation you would have in a coffee shop with a real human being. So, you wouldn't just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, do you want to get married? You would say, oh, that's my favorite coffee order too. So try to find common ground and then go from there. Here is another example. I've had a couple students in the Holistic Marketing Hub who specialize in beauty over 40, or they're bloggers or makeup artists, or actually have a couple functional medicine practitioners who talk about beauty over 40. So I typed in the hashtag beauty over 40. Remember, went away from top and over here to recent. Another reason that you go to recent and not top is because typically if something's made it to the top hashtag, typically means it already has a lot of comments, meaning your comment is not as likely to stand out. So go over to recent, and then I picked this person's post here, so I clicked on it. And in her post, she's talking about the resurfacing peel, C serum, and facial roller, giving my skin new life. So what you would comment something here is, I love the C serum. Now, this is not a lie, this is not fake. I actually used this, and so that's why I said that. So you obviously don't want to be making things up because that's, kind of defeats the purpose. So like I said, if you can't find something to say, then move on until you find something that actually resonates with you. You don't want to be creating these like fake conversations. That is not what we are about. A quick little hack to take it to the next level is if you have these accounts that are local to you, even if you're not a brick and mortar business, even if you're an online health coach or a blogger who sees people anywhere, a great way to expand your reach is to start local. So let's assume that I've got, 5 different health coaches I could hire, and I find one that's local to me versus one who's across the country, and all other things are equal. I'm still going to hire the one that's closer to me. So this hack works even if you are not a brick and mortar business. So I just went to the Pasadena hashtag. This is one of my students who is a brick and mortar doctor in Pasadena. So I went to the Pasadena hashtag and found this SoCal Nature Kids account, which is really cool. And, she's talking about going to the Huntington Gardens. So I found this post, commented on it, and then went to the post and used this little paper airplane and shared that to her stories. And then when you share it to the stories, they actually don't get notified. I know that's really weird. You have to actually go tag them again for them to get notified. So here are just some examples of what I would do when I'm sharing a post like this to the stories. SoCal Nature Kids has great ideas for getting outside and soaking up your vitamin D. So then what happens is this SoCal Nature Kids account, who is full of people who are her target market, because obviously this is an account that's just saying here's things to do around SoCal with your kids, then this account is going to reshare the fact that we shared her stuff. So it's bringing more people back to your profile. Here's another example. This is Julian Fine Foods. It's a local fine foods place in Pasadena. We shared this post to her stories. One of our favorite local, with the comment, one of our favorite local Pasadena spots got a wine shipment today. And then, I tagged Julian Fine Foods here. Again, they're likely to reshare you, and this is just a great way to bring targeted people back to your profile. I cannot stress how important this step is. Implementing this step is where you will see real growth and results. I would rather you do this than spend time endlessly pumping out new content.